We're focusing on your driver, and your answers indicate you have what we would call a classic hook. So a shot that starts straight or to the right of target and then curves excessively to the left through the air. You've also told us that your preference would actually be to play with a fade. So a shot that starts slightly left and then curves back towards the target. The hook is caused by two things: an in-to-out swing path, where the club head is travelling to the right of target, and a closed face. So when the club face is pointing to the left of the direction of the swing, the ball is going to curve to the left through the air. For a fade, we actually need the opposite. So we need an out-to-in swing path, where the club head is travelling very slightly left of target. We also need a very slightly open face. So when the club face is pointing to the right of the direction of the swing, the ball will curve to the right through the air. First would be the swing path. So I've got a stick on the ground here that's parallel to our target line to use as a reference. Notice that the more you get the club shaft angled inwards in relation to the line on your way down towards impact, the easier and the more severely you can swing from in to out. On the other hand, if we were to bring the club down a little closer to parallel to this line, the club is less to the inside, and that means we can get a much more neutral swing path. However, we would like a slightly out to in swing path. And that means that not only are we trying to get a good approach, after impact this club head should be moving left of target. With the in to out swing path, it would be moving to the right of target. So that's the key feeling here for our fade, is to make sure, regardless of our downswing, that the club head is going to be moving to the left of target through impact. So it's left and inside on the way up into the follow through. Number two would be the club face. So we have a closed club face. This means that we've started with it square, we've opened it on the way back, as every golf swing does, but we've closed it too early. So we're rotating this club towards the target, and the toe has overtaken the heel before the club arrived at impact. By doing this, the face is closed and we hook the ball. So if we can have the square face at setup and the opening on the way back, but we can delay the closing, we can get the face to arrive at impact slightly open. Now we have two aspects of the golf swing that can both be influenced by the same change, and that would be the body as it rotates towards the target. Notice that if I get to the top of the swing and I don't turn back to the target too soon, I can allow the club to drop down behind me, which gives me the in to out swing path. However, if I was to start my pivot towards the target immediately as I start my downswing, it would bring the club out more in front of me or closer to the target line. If I exaggerate it excessively, I could actually get the club outside the target line, moving drastically left, which would be a slice. So the pivot and turning the body towards the target can reduce the in to out swing path and provide a straighter one through impact. Secondly would be the club face. Again, if I delay the turning of the body towards the target, it's very, very easy for the hands to flip the club over and close the face and cause a hook. On the other hand, if I was to turn the body towards the target more aggressively, the hands will have a harder time of flipping the face closed, and that can actually produce a slightly open face at impact. So from this top of the swing, we're going to focus on these two things, but with the same feeling. As you change direction from backswing to downswing, make sure the body is turning towards the target, and that brings the club shaft out to a more neutral position on the way down. Secondly would be, as you release the club from here to the ball, make sure you keep those hips turning to the target, and that will bring the face in very slightly open. Thirdly is, as you go through impact, the turning of the body continues again, and that helps the club move inwards after impact. So we've got a good turn of the body to get the club more neutral on the way down, slightly open at impact, and moving left after impact. Now obviously we need to put these three things together, and it's one flowing movement with one main feeling that should be causing these three changes. So nice and easy from the top, turn. So the hips turn to the target from the very top. And if you can feel the influence of this turn on the club face and on the swing direction, let's hit a shot and see how it works. So neutral setup, swing to the top and make a good aggressive hip turn towards the target for the fade.